I think the news of the day yesterday was the injuries, and it was Joe Burrow and Jalen Ramsey. But let's start with Joe Burrow because he went down. It was a injury that occurred, and it wasn't a calf injury. We now know that it's a calf strain, but at the time when it happened, like you just saw a video of him on the field, and then he just started like limping, went over, hopping on one leg, and he goes down, right? And so this is the thing I hate the most about Twitter, the Twitter doctors. Everyone's initially reacting, oh, it looks so bad, it's so severe, just all, can we just wait? Can we just wait
right.
and find out what is going to happen? And so thankfully it did come out. It seems like a major crisis was averted in terms of what the nature of the injury is. There he is being carted off. So, we wish Joe Burrow well, but I know this is not the best thing for him, right? In terms of not being able to finish out camp. This has been a thing that he's been concerned with in the past before, right, Callie?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just after day one of training camp, he was talking about just how focused he was on this time because last offseason he had appendicitis. He had to get surgery to have that removed, and that took a chunk of his time away from the field. And then you even look to his introduction to the league, that 2020 offseason, there were no preseason games because of COVID. So some of this is has nothing to do with anything that's in his control, but it's just been his experience in the league so far that his off seasons don't tend to go uninterrupted. And some people might be like, okay, well, he's not missing regular season time, it doesn't matter. But I think it does. That time is crucial to kind of building connections and just growing together as a team. And so he keeps getting incomplete versions of that. Obviously, he's a top quarterback. It's not hindering him in any way. He's on his way to probably a crazy deal coming up soon. And this injury will not set him back in terms of that. But I do hate this for him in terms of just the way his off seasons keep getting interrupted. And I also think that, like you mentioned with the Twitter reaction, we kind of lost a little bit of the messaging. So I think it's we saw him on the field go down and people immediately just assumed that the injury was going to be really severe. Then it comes out that it's a calf strain and people are like, oh, that's nothing. He's fine. And it's not nothing. A calf strain could still be something really not good. I mean, you look back, I hate to kind of go between sports, but if you look at Kevin Durant with the Warriors, for example, he strained his calf in the 2019
you were going to go
playoffs.
there. I knew it.
I had to. Came back towards Achilles. You know what I mean? He missed 9 games, I think it was. So it's it's not nothing. It's a little bit concerning. Obviously, he'll be fine. And I'm not concerned about that. He's a tough player. And so I don't think we should chalk it up to whatever. But I do think, it's something.
Well, look, we know they're going to be careful with him. He's their biggest asset, their most important asset. So we know they're going to be careful with bringing him back, but I do expect for us to see him back. And Jalen Ramsey also experienced an injury. That one a little bit more serious, meniscus. And he's having surgery today. I don't even know if it's completed. I haven't seen if there's been any more updates, but can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, right before I logged on, I saw the update, which is that he won't be back until December. And so that is about, I think, what he expected when he tweeted after the injury was kind of diagnosed and we were clear that it was a meniscus. He was like, that postseason push is going to be different. And it's really that end of season push, he said. And it is going to have to be different because the Dolphins traded for him. And that was something that he wanted specifically. This was supposed to be kind of his not prove it year because he's arguably the best CB that we have in the league. I think a lot of people would make that argument, but last season was tough, for the Rams. And so I think this was his time to show I'm not washed. I still got it. And I'm going to be a difference maker on this Dolphins defense. And so for him to be hindered from that, it's so unfortunate. And I think, honestly, I don't know exactly. I think the Dolphins do have options to turn to, though. They have Keon Crossan, they have Cam Smith, but I don't know how much of a splash they'll make compared to what Ramsey was going to be able to offer this season. So it's disappointing.
And what's so tough is that it felt like the Miami Dolphins were just turning a corner, right? Especially after last season. And everyone knows, what was going on with Tua Tagovailoa, but there was progress being made under their new leadership. And this was, they got the pieces together in the offseason. There was a lot of excitement around that. So it does feel like a little bit of a gut punch to that uphill climb that they're making, but wishing him a speedy recovery and obviously coming back when he's ready.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.